Hmm, interesting. Well, Victor, very good. So, Victor, so I watched him on live on TV. Jason has announced to us. So, do you know anything about that, Victor?
Well, it was a homicide lockdown, but I recently gained change. Well, when I sat down on the chair, so I watched I watched him. Jason announced to us, but he told me about the homicide lockdown. All those shops and takeaways and restaurants, cafes are closed because the lockdown is a homicide lockdown. Recently, Jefferson, it wouldn't be a no stuff at all my command. They recommend anything. They do really have to make it more insufficient advised. So I advise that everyone who could believe, they believe it in Journey. Journey to that point, they were supposed so, but making always difference to them. They have their sequences, but not just one of them. They have no business in for his lives or anything they have to, but they're still here for the whole day, Jefferson. But they're still happening in this the originated, but the lockdown should be closed, but the lockdown is unfinished. Jason told us that the lockdown was unfinished, only one piece. But they should never disrespect to them what they needed to do, but due to that, the lockdown. But recently, it's all been done. What they needed to do is like the pyromaniac. But I've saw somebody else might with you, but not this for long. But advise or something. They need to take care. What they need to do is to stop them. So they usually getting stuff from them, but they should never know who they are. But the main reason problems that the only thing that he doesn't really matter what they used for. But he didn't. So I asked him to take everything from them. And then the only way he's caused to somebody, but when he's taken somewhere. But when he was taken here, the lockdown not always to be closed. So as I say, so basically, it doesn't matter why he was done. He took it for the last few days, but a few days later, he took it. So while he was taking it, but he didn't know why is he up to. But not just for them. But I suppose he can only just do anything what he needs to do, Jefferson. But recently, he came alongside. So as I say, yes. So what he was talking about is the homicide lockdown. But the only true way that he was meant to be about where he was gone, I went to the White House Assembly because we was announced before yesterday. And last night it was on live, but some of them might want to know. But many these days, they don't really expect to the other men's in clubs. They were men's clubs, they came along. But between them, they would sell everything from their last. So Jefferson, what were you going to say if it's not a false attempt? What would they do to them?
Absolutely right, Victor. The the only thing I need to know, but I only make everything different to them. What they need to do is to keep it handy. They have to keep it handy for the whole time. What we used to be at the other man, they drink a lot of water, to keep them hydrated. But recently they have been sold out for a whole week. They usually taking care of what they used to do. They never used to do with their contributions. But recently, Victor, the men who hasn't been tasked, but what they need to do is to take care of them. If you exceed, the lockdown should be finished at the quarter of them. But they should never know what they have to do. They should never say yes, or should I say no, for what they were done for. I've been recently taken from where he was started from. He's already announced to you and everybody. In the whole world, in the reasoned whole world, they should never ever do what they cause to. But what they need to do is, they taking it. But actually, Vic, if you've already exceed, you may have to extract to another people in the whole line. Many men to their contributions always exceed. Well, you got them all right, do you, Vic? You're very lucky. Jason's absolutely lucky too. But the other hand, on the right side. But absolutely unbelievable. They're usually taking care where he was belonged to. They took the belongings, taking a high street. They forced us to stop from nowhere, and it appears out of nowhere. Well, he appeared out of nowhere because when he was taken from, when he's pursued, when he's not pursued, he would say if it's no individual clues, but what they needed to do with. Actually, Victor, if you notice that, he's already been announced. Raised money for the charity. Raise money for a charity. That's a good charities. Money for the charities. The homophobic has all been regained, but recently they've already been taken for the whole week. So if you put it on side by side, you make it no quick and proper respect to give the other handed. Make sure you have to keep it handy, Victor. You know what it looks like, do you? Always behave, always been criminal act. Not criminal act, but just being polite and kindness. But there's no antisocial indeeds. I'll tell you what, Victor. The only way you telling me things already, when you took me in, you'll get the job as well. As I surprise to you, Victor, here. You will have your certificate for your own retirement. There you go, Vic. Enjoy. Alright. Thank you so much, Jefferson. I would appreciate that I'm always just being always respectful. Always respect to other people. Maybe I can help with all these people. They should know what they need to do. I'll tell you what, Jefferson. I will go right now. See you later. See you, Vic.